Hi everyone, welcome and welcome back to 1/6 scale. In this DIY video, we're making skirts for the dolls, and to make them, we're using socks. I made these 3 skirts from different types of socks, and I also made them in 3 different ways. For the first skirt, I used the band of the sock for the waistline, and then I hemmed it on the bottom. I hemmed it with a sewing machine, but you can hand sew it with needle and thread, and then you can also use fabric glue. And on the back of the skirt, I sewed 1 seam straight up the back. The second style of skirt is the opposite of the first one. So instead of using the band of the sock for the waistline, this time I used it for the hemline. And I also used a sewing machine to sew the waistline, and then I sewed this skirt together at the back. And for the third style of skirt, I'm using a sock that doesn't have a waistband on the top. And to make the hemline and waistline, I used some fabric glue. And for this skirt, instead of sewing 1 seam straight up the back, I cut it in 2 pieces, and I sewed 2 seams, 1 down each side. And to make the skirts, you can use any style or color of socks, and I have a lot of leftover pieces from other projects. You can also use the foot of the sock, so those ankle socks would also make great skirts. So to make these skirts, you need socks, and you can sew them on the sewing machine, and then you can also sew them by hand with needle and thread. And for the waistband and hemline, you can sew them, and you can also use fabric glue. To make the first skirt, we're using the band of the sock for the waistline. Turn the sock inside out and place the doll on the sock, lining up the doll's waistline with the band. Measure down and decide how long you'd like the skirt to be and make a mark at that point, and then remove the doll from the sock. Next, draw a line across at that mark, and then measure down 1/2 inch and draw another line across, and then cut across on the second line. Flip the sock over and then cut up the middle of the sock. Open up the sock material and continue drawing the first line all the way across the fabric. Next, fold the fabric at that line and then sew across, and this will be the hemline of the skirt. You can sew the hemline by hand, on a sewing machine, and then you can also use fabric glue. I sewed this hemline on a sewing machine, and then I also trimmed off the excess fabric. Next, wrap the fabric around the doll's body, gathering it at the back. And then pin the fabric in the middle and then at the top and also at the bottom, following the shape of the doll's body. Remove the fabric from the doll and then draw a line following the shape of the pins. Remove the pins and then sew along that line. And then cut along the line on the outside of the stitches. And then turn the fabric right side out, and there's the completed skirt with the band of the sock as the waistline, sewn on the bottom for the hemline, and also sewn together at the back. The second way to make the skirt is to flip the sock and use the band of the sock for the hemline. And all the steps are the same as the first skirt, just reverse, making the band of the sock as the hemline, and then cutting and folding the waistline and sewing or gluing it together. For the third style of skirt, we're using a sock that doesn't have a band on it. You can use this portion of the sock, and then you can also use the foot of the sock. From the top of the sock, measure down 1/2 inch and then draw a line across. Next, place the doll on the sock, lining up the waistline of the doll with the top of the sock. And then measure down and decide how long you would like the length of the skirt to be, and make a mark, and then remove the doll from the sock. Draw a line across at that mark, and then measure down another 1/2 inch, and then draw another line across, and then cut the sock at that second line. Next, cut the fabric on both sides, making 2 pieces, and also draw 2 lines on the top and the bottom of the 2 pieces. Place some glue on all 4 lines and then fold the fabric over to make the hemline and the waistlines. You can also machine sew or hand sew, but for this skirt, I'm using fabric glue. Next, place the doll on the sock and then trace around the outside of the doll's body on both sides, and then remove the doll from the sock of the fabric. Next, place the 2 pieces of fabric together, sew along the lines, and then also cut along both lines. Turn the skirt right side out, and there's a completed skirt that we glued at the hemline and the waistline, and also sewn down both sides. You can also make dresses following the same steps as the skirts, just making the rectangles longer. This one I used the band of the sock for the top, I sewed the bottom, and then I sewed 1 seam straight down the back. And for this dress, I also used the band at the top and sewed it at the bottom, and for this one, I cut it in 2 pieces and sewed it down both sides. I also made these sweaters from socks, and if you'd like to make them, I'll leave a link down below to that video. And I also have a lot of leftover pieces of socks for making the sweaters, and with all of these leftover pieces, you can make matching skirts to go with the sweaters. A Canada Day skirt to go with the Canada Day sweater, a pink ribbon skirt to go with the breast cancer sweater, and a winter skirt to go with this winter sweater, and even a Halloween skirt to go with the Halloween sweater. And here are a few more sweaters that have matching skirts. This is a root sweater that I made from a gray work sock, and I used the red and white band of the sock to make the skirt. And then I sewed the hemline, and then I also sewed it up the back. And I made this sweater from a fluffy sock, and for the matching skirt I also used another fluffy sock. And for this skirt I glued the waistband and the hemline, and then I sewed it at the back. And here's a really cute flamingo sweater that's perfect for the summer, and for the skirt I made this skirt in 2 pieces. And then I sewed it at the waistline and the hemline, and then I sewed it on both sides. And this sweater is zebra print, and you can get a 2-pack pair of socks that have 2 colors or patterns that complement each other. So I made the sweater from the zebra print socks, and then I made the skirt from the black socks. I used the band of the sock for the hem, and then I glued it at the waistline and sewed it on both sides. That's how you make skirts and dresses for your dolls from socks. And these skirts are a lot of fun to make, and you can use any style, color, or type of socks to make many different types of skirts. I hope you enjoyed this video and you give this DIY a try. Thanks for watching and have a great day, and I'll see you next time.
Hello dolls, what are you doing?
We are making skirts.
Oh, how nice.
We're making them from socks.
From socks? Why are you making skirts from socks?
Because it's cost effective and you can make so many different styles of skirts with all of the different types of socks.
Well, my skirt isn't made from socks.
Yes, it is.
Really? I don't think so. All of my clothes are genuine Barbie pieces or fashion packs.
Does that skirt have a label on the back?
No, I don't see one.
That's because it's made from a sock. This sock to be exact. Look, it has the same pattern.
I have to go.
Where are you going?
I'm going home to check the clothes in my wardrobe to see if any of them are made from socks.
She'll be surprised when she finds out that she has sweaters, skirts, and dresses made from socks. In fact, there's a full playlist on this channel with lots of DIY Barbie clothes videos.
Who are you talking to?
The subscribers and viewers.
That's a great idea to let them know that they can make their own Barbie skirts from socks.
It is, but for now we need to finish making all of these skirts. There are a lot of Barbies waiting for us to make them.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.